Dude, the Lance from the Serfs is just the gift that keeps on giving. You know, if you guys have watched all of our videos, you might have seen this character pop up, Lance from the Serfs. You know, he is just, he's an interesting guy. He's a leftist content creator, and he's also dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys.
I've never seen him make a correct take about anything at all.
The thing that's so funny about Lance is that he has all this, like, false confidence about him, as if he's, like, he copied Destiny's confidence, as well as, you know, a lot of other things from Destiny, including his fucking website.
Yeah.
But he has no reason to project as much confidence as he does because he has just no understanding of anything.
No, he doesn't have a single opinion about anything that he's thought through for more than like 5 seconds.
No, yeah, he just regurgitates bullshit. So, infamously, he went after Mr. Beast, to which Mr. Beast responded and completely bitch slapped him and forced him to actually delete the tweet.
Yeah, and reply like, "You're completely correct. I will take
I'll
the L."
take the L. I'm so sorry.
Kneeling. Yeah.
It's like, okay, dude, whatever. And then he was also the literal only guy to defend Illuminati when she tried to accuse Legal Eagle of plagiarizing her editing that she doesn't even do.
Yeah.
Right? So this guy just is king of all of the worst takes in the world. And, you know, a lot of people, they say that I hate Lance too much, or I'm too obsessed with him, or I want him to fail. I don't want Lance to fail. I want Lance to get more and more and more famous so that it all falls down even harder.
Yeah.
So when I found out that Lance went on Tim Pool, who hosts the biggest political night show on YouTube of all time, I was like, oh my god, this is perfect.
Because we know that he's not going to say, he's just going to totally stumble all over himself.
He's going to just say the dumbest shit in the world. And, you know, not to say that Tim Pool is a smart guy. Tim Pool is similar to Lance, although not nearly as bad, but Tim Pool just kind of repeats talking points, and he's gotten stumped on his own show numerous times. He infamously made the prediction that Trump was going to have a 50-state sweep in 2020's election, which was like totally brain dead. I don't know how he came to that conclusion.
Yeah.
And that was a serious take, too. It wasn't just a joke. So, Tim Pool, also not the brightest tool in the shed, but watch in these clips how even Tim Pool runs laps around Lance's intelligence.
Yeah.
We believe that the moment after the child is outside of the birth canal, that they are now endowed with human rights.
Yes.
However, when they are inside of the mother, literally anything you do to them is acceptable because they're inside of the mother.
Oh, no, I don't think anything is acceptable, but I think the mother should still have the choice, ultimate authority over what happens to her body.
But there's a child inside of her body.
Hold on.
Not
What
her.
about
Yes.
meth?
Like, should she be allowed to do meth?
Yeah.
I think if someone is doing meth while they're pregnant, that it is completely acceptable for something like, I don't know what the name of the service is in the United States.
Child Protective Services. Everybody knows that.
Come on.
I guess
Child and child
DCFS
services?
would be.
Oh, it's her body, though.
Yeah, it's her body.
If she wants to do meth, what's the big deal?
The big deal is that she's intentionally trying to kill a child.
Wow.
Hold on there a minute.
Yeah, and I see where we're going.
I don't understand what you're saying. It's her body.
It's her body.
If she wants to do meth, what's the problem?
Well, first off, doing meth is illegal, period. Doesn't matter if you're doing it.
To believe.
Okay,
Wow.
so that's how he pulls himself out of that situation. And it's like, look, regardless, I'm sure in our comments, many people have many varying takes on abortion, right? But like, it doesn't. You can disregard all of your opinions on that and just look at this clip for what it is. It's Lance objectively being an idiot. You know, how does he let Tim Pool bait him into such a simple question? Lance should be able to justify from his perspective the difference between an abortion versus doing meth while you're pregnant.
Right.
You should be able to have a quick response of like why these two are different things at all.
Especially because this is his whole job. I mean, he is literally a political, like, online lefty guy. So why have you not thought about this beyond the extent of abortion is woman right?
They should be able to do that. Okay, but what about other things, right?
Yeah.
Like this is such a simple, like 3-year-old logical thought process that Lance. It's just amazing that he has not figured out how to, you know, walk away out of this one or articulate it. And Tim Pool baits him so quickly there. He should have seen that coming from a mile away, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Like when he opens up and says, well, the mother should have all the rights to do whatever they want to the child. Obviously, Tim Pool's gonna be like, well, what about insert extreme example? Lance should have seen that coming and been able to walk his way out of that one, but he gets stumped instantly.
Yeah.
It's so sad. And it's not even the only clip. Here, watch this clip right here.
You know what I think? I think there is a transgenocide.
Okay.
And I think it's you.
Okay.
Because you're sterilizing a lot of these people.
How so?
I mean, they're literally sterilizing them. The surgery to remove the gonads, hysterectomies, and puberty and cross-sex hormones and puberty blockers have a high rate of sterilization. I mean, first of all, removal of the gonads in the uterus is an absolute sterilization. And then puberty blockers have a very high rate, and cross-sex hormones have an extremely high rate of sterilizing the individual. So these people can no longer reproduce. That's genocide.
Is this the joke you're gonna go for?
Joke?
Jesus.
All of Lance's arguments, by the way, and this clip gets way worse. Just keep watching. But the only way Lance can shut down Tim is just by insulting him or being like, "You're a joke. You're a loser." That's not going to work, especially to Tim Pool's audience. They see that for what it is. It's weakness. It's a deflection. Stick to it. But the clip gets a lot worse.
You are removing these people's ability to reproduce. And if they're at a young age and they haven't had the ability, like for instance, Jazz Jennings can never have kids. Jazz Jennings also, and this probably part of your studies, can't actually feel any sexual feeling of any kind.
Do you have any idea how weird this sounds right now? Like, why are you obsessing with a stranger's genital pleasure? That's so weird. That's so bizarre.
That was very weird yourself.
You guys are all weird.
No.
So I'm talking about adults who engage in activities, which is a large portion of the global economy, whether you like it or not. Sex sells, they say. And when I say this person will never have this ability, you go, how weird is that?
It's weird for you to fixate on a stranger's genital pleasure. That's
Really, Lance? That's what you're going to try to weasel your way out of this situation? It's so weird that you would bring up like another person's genitals. Why? And the context of what they're talking about, Tim Pool's like, it doesn't. Why is this like a bad thing to bring up?
Yeah, this is something that's going to permanently affect them for the rest of their life. So you want to consider everything that will happen to you. What he's talking about is they are notified of this before they have the surgery, that you will most likely never experience an orgasm again, never experience sexual pleasure again after you have the surgery. That's not a weird thing to consider and say,
that's
hey,
relevant information.
That's relevant information of what's happening with this surgery that they're experiencing. And if Tim says, I don't like that this is happening, that's his opinion. It's not like some weird thing where I'm thinking about if they're getting off and coming all the time. It's like, no, they're saying this is a surgery that happens.
He's not being weird about it. Like, Tim literally just brings up a scientific fact, and Lance's big response is, you're talking about sex. That's weird.
Yeah.
Really?
What an amazing response.
Wow. This guy should be out of a fucking job.
I mean, clearly.
That is just hilariously embarrassing.
Jesus.
strange. That's so bizarre.
Well, she's public about it.
But see, you're not making an argument right now, is my point.
I'm not. I'm saying it's weird. It's not an argument.
Yeah,
I'm just that's an observation.
So you're trying to make an appeal to emotion and an appeal to shame.
No, I'm just giving you my genuine thought when you say something like that. Like,
well, it was a really fucking pathetic attempt at trying to make an argument.
Why should we discuss whether or not she has genital feeling? That's not important. It's not.
It's not important.
Not my business.
It's important.
Why is that not important?
It's mentioned whenever you have a surgery. It is literally one of the main things that is a huge downside for everyone who's ever had this surgery or regretted it. They say that this is something that affects them. So why is this not important? Why is this something that affects people genuinely? We just have to be like, it doesn't even matter. Let's never talk about it.
Fuck it. You know, it's weird. And for a guy that constantly talks about how much we need to like study science and appreciate science and stuff like that, okay, well, you're disregarding science for no reason. Why? Because it makes you uncomfortable?
It makes you uncomfortable, yeah.
I don't believe that.
No.
I just think you're fucking a pussy.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you're gonna give these brain dead, you know what my feeling is. You know what my observation is that you're just a walking vagina who can't articulate shit, and Tim Pool is running laps on you. And I like how aggressive Tim is getting in front of Lance because it exposes him for what he is. He's gonna sit there like, well, that's weird, dude. Tim Pool's not gonna let him get away with that.
Yeah.
Which is,
well, what does he think Tim Pool's response is gonna be? Oh, okay, my bad.
I'm sorry.
Really?
No.
Of
Tim's
course
gonna
not.
fucking crush you. So you have to figure out a different way to defeat Tim.
Yes.
You can't just defeat Tim with mockery, especially in his own studio.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
No.
So let's focus then on the sterilizing of the individual. Are you okay with that?
Who's sterilizing people?
Jazz Jennings is sterile.
Why are we going back to Jazz Jennings? I don't know anything
famous.
about her.
Because Jazz is a famous individual on cable television.
So if she is sterile for whatever reason, what does that have to do with me? Why does that concern
What does
me?
that
Why
have
did
to
I
do
pass
with me?
The
legislation
sterilization of teenagers.
This is such a weird way to frame this. Like
He's got no argument. He's brain dead.
He hasn't thought about this position at all.
No.
He's not even saying something like, well, look, maybe if they're an adult and then they've been well aware of this, then they can have this surgery because it's a choice. Like he's not even. He's just why are we talking about this?
I'm sure this isn't the first time Tim Pool has brought up this specific example in a show. You didn't think to research Tim's position because obviously they're going to talk about trans people. So you didn't think to watch any of Tim Pool's like trans content to figure out like anticipate some talking points he might bring up. Like I'm sure Tim Pool's brought this up before in a show.
Right.
Like at least once or twice or multiple times.
Yeah.
Because Tim Pool's quick with this one. So, but okay, you just didn't prepare for shit. Didn't do your homework. Not the first time Lance has showed up to a debate with doing no prep. I mean, the Canadian mass graves debate that he lost to Lawrence Southern,
shit.
the eugenics debate that he lost to JF. I mean,
oh my God.
he has consistently almost bragged about doing no preparation for his debates, but then for some reason keeps showing up to them.
And losing.
Even from his own side. Like, his own comments were just destroying him. So, okay.
Moving teenagers' ability to have children.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not a doctor, Tim.
You
I don't have the
Wow.
ability to do this.
Right?
I support people having access to health care. Of course.
Wow,
Why would I want
what
to
a
prevent
brave
that just
take.
because
Wow.
some
Do you
people have
agree?
bigotry towards them?
Let's try again. You seem
Bigotry.
scared of this. Do you believe that parents and doctors should have the ability to remove the ability of a child for future reproduction?
They should have the ability to give them access to health care. Of course they should.
So why do you keep saying it like that?
You're implying that every single gender-affirming care results in sterilization.
I didn't say that.
That is not true at all.
I said the removal
There's
of
also
the-
people who are trans that never get bottom surgery.
You seem very scared of this. It's scaring you.
How am I afraid to?
Because you keep deflecting when I ask you. So Jazz Jennings is a specific
Deflecting.
example. Let's try. Let's try this. Let's
Tim,
slow
Tim,
down and go one point at a time.
you
right?
think I'm deflecting because I don't want to keep talking about someone's genital pleasure who's a stranger. I'm
Nice
saying
try.
that
He's not even on
I'm
pleasure
saying-
anymore. He's
Dude,
not
we're
even on
not
pleasure.
talking about. What does he say? Dude, Tim's right. He is deflecting. Every single response is a deflection. He's like, I'm not deflecting. I just don't want to talk about it. That's a deflection.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about genital pleasure, which was the conversation 2 minutes ago, which we're not even on anymore. We're now talking about something totally different.
It shouldn't concern
Nice
you.
try.
It shouldn't concern
Nice try.
anyone, Tim.
Your
That's-
appeal to emotion is not going to work on me. I'm asking you a science.
I know I can appeal to your emotion.
And he fake laughs to pretend that he's confident, but he's not. He's shitting his pants right now.
Yeah, he looks like a loser.
This is the last one, and Tim just sets them up with the most obvious bait in the world. Again, we're talking about trans people. Tim's gonna ask him a question: what is a woman? Right? Which is
The largest bait question of all time for the past 2 years.
yeah,
Everyone
every
says this all the
conservative
time.
talking head is memorize this question and ask everyone on their show. They'll ask this question too: what is a woman? So Lance better have an answer that prevents as many of Tim Pool's tactics as possible. But of course, not only does he not do that, but he gives Tim the perfect answer for Tim to stomp in his nuts for the next few minutes.
1776's life says, "What is a woman?"
Oh wait, this is from a super chat. So Tim didn't even prepare this. It was just
Yeah.
from a super chat. Okay.
Right. So some random idiot in the chat
Wow.
was just like, let me just post the most cute biggest question on the internet for the last year and a half.
And then Lance has to answer for this. Let's see what he does.
Would you like me to answer that?
Yeah.
A woman is an adult human female.
Uh-oh. Tim
Wow.
knows. Tim knows.
Easy enough.
I agree with that.
So trans women are not women.
Oh,
Also,
they absolutely
I
are.
want to answer that.
They're
What is a
adult
woman?
human females.
A woman is hot.
Trans women aren't female; they're male.
No, they're female.
So they have female gametes and whatnot.
Oh, this is actually very interesting. Do you want to talk about gametes? So in embryonic development.
No, it's weird. I don't want to talk about that. It's weird.
It makes me uncomfortable. Why are you obsessing over someone else's gametes, bro?